Hi, Beck Mac here for Pops Art, and I am at QAGOMA for the opening of Chiharu Shiota today here in this incredible space. And what a magic exhibition it is. And I'm here with Ruben. How are you?
Good, good. How are you, Beck?
Now, can you tell me about your role in bringing this incredible, contemporary, immersive experience installation together?
Yeah, sure. So I've been the coordinating curator for this show. It was put together by Mami Kataoka, who's the director at the Mori Art Museum in Tokyo. And so my role was really in working with the teams here to adapt the show to our spaces and for our audiences.
Because seeing the work in the space, it's literally almost sewn in, hemmed into the volume of this incredible this space. But also, I get this sense of it's pulling everything apart and bringing it all back together. So there's sort of this thing about the soul and the body and the world and the universe. It's like such a dichotomy that's being expressed here, but at the same time, I feel safe. How is that happening?
I think that's really interesting. I mean, the use of the word dichotomy is a really good one. A lot of the time, Chiharu likes to work with these things, ideas like presence and absence, life and death, and hold them in tension within her work. The works are quite well known for circulating on social media. People will have seen them before. But I think one of the aspects of them is that there's more to them than just this theatricality and a visuality. And that comes down to her process as an artist. The starting point for the works are often these big questions, big existential questions, which then she works through materially. So one way of thinking about it is taking intangibles, these ideas like memories, dreams, even things like silence, and finding a way to manifest them spatially.
Yes, yeah. And I guess incredibly brave, and she must dig deep so into her own personal psyche and history and self-knowledge to be able to then basically express it within a public space like that. As a person, it must be quite not grueling, but she's really mining her own interior world.
Yes, it's right out there. I mean, the work is quite raw, and you'll see some of the early performances in the show. She's really exposing herself, even more recently. I mean, she's mentioned that the day after she was invited to do this show, she was diagnosed with cancer, and then went through the experience of chemotherapy and other therapies, and she's found ways to sublimate that experience in her work. And she's really not afraid of talking about these things, which is unusual. She's quite a softly spoken person. But I guess art making is a way of her negotiating her place in the world.
And just quickly, how did this all come together? I mean, I can't imagine she sat there knitting this herself.
I think initially she does do that when planning these things out, but obviously, we put this one together quickly, 14 days straight, with a team of about a dozen people. So those included some of her team, her assistants who were really leading the process, our install team, as well as some great volunteers who helped out on the project, and brought this thing from a mess of thread and balls of wool to this quite extraordinary installation. And it was really just the process of them being in the space and weaving away, and Chiharu coming in, making the odd change and getting in there herself. She was working on a number of installations simultaneously, but it came together. But huge team to do this kind of thing.
So fantastic. And finally, the Children's Art Centre, which is always probably one of the best in the world, is exploring the soul. And this is a very intriguing yet powerful yet timely moment, I guess, in our cultural history to be considering the soul as something to even be talked about, let alone explored in a children's art centre. What do you think? How do you think that's going to, I guess, go out to the broader community?
Well, there's a couple of things about that. One of them is that this is an exhibition with some pretty heavy themes. It looks pretty, but it's quite knotty. And so having children's perspectives on the soul at the end of the exhibition is actually quite an uplifting note to end it on. And it is nice to have that note of hope. And her approach to doing that has been to sit down with kids her daughter's age, kids around the age of 10 years old, and to ask them some questions. And not in these heavy philosophical terms, but in general questions. First of all, asking them if they have a pet, a cat or a dog. Does their pet have a soul? Do plants have souls? What colour is your soul? And the thoughts of these kids are really fascinating and enlightening, and they do help make sense of some of the issues that are raised in the show, but also about the way that children see the world. Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to go in there and paint the colour of my soul. I think it's green today. No, but I love it. It's fantastic. And congratulations. It's so great. There's been such a great energy here. Queensland's back open for business. People are coming from interstate. So it's going to be a really great exhibition. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
My pleasure. So good. Thank you.
Pretty cool.